welcome back to another cup. Today is kind of a very interesting situation. So I got a new dripper again, but I have some very special Panama geishas from Cabra. Today I'm using the ZP6 as my grinder, set at 4.7. I'm using pink ceramic UFO dripper. The beans that I'll be using today are Cabra's Elida. The process is natural and the variety is geisha. The flavor notes are floral and complex, but what I've come to realize is that it's a little bit purple florals and slight berry at the very end, and then it goes into like a nut at the very, or like a vanilla-ish kind of hazelnutty kind of situation. The cafe that I got these from is called Limuso. I believe they're the only distributor for Cabra here in Korea. They're super knowledgeable, super friendly. I basically spent 3 hours there just chatting it up while they're in a super busy cafe. There are people coming in and out. They took the time to like ask me questions about what I thought about the coffee, what about their brewing methods, and just like really just made it a super hospitable situation that was really enjoyable. The cafe is located in a city in Korea that I frequent often, but it's not Seoul. It's called Cheonan, and I just told them like, hey, I'll stop by when I'm in the city, and then lo and behold, on the snowy day, it just happened to work out, and I'm so glad I went. What a fantastic time. Shout out to Limuso. On the UFO dripper, I've brewed about 6 cups with this already in the past like 2 days. I've been really trying to like dig into it. So the UFO dripper sits really nicely in between these two drippers, the Time Warp B75 and the V60 Neo. The V60 Neo being a very like vibrant profile, and the B75 is a very, I would say, round profile. And so I think the UFO dripper sits really nicely in between. The flavor profile that I get from the UFO dripper is that it's really clean. There's no sticky notes to it. It doesn't linger, no long aftertastes. It's a very full tasting cup that's light, and it kind of like floats on your tongue. It's not the most vibrant, but it's very flavorful. It's very complex in its expression. I think it does really well, and I'm excited to keep testing the flavor profiles that come out of the UFO dripper. Shout out to Jay Kim and his team behind designing the UFO dripper. Let's get into the cup. So the base recipe that I used, the water was set at 93 degrees. I used 14 grams at a 1:16 ratio, and my ZP6 was set at 4.7. The brewing recipe that I did was I bloomed with 45 grams, and then at 30 seconds, I poured to 114, and at 1 minute and 15 seconds, I poured to 224, with a total drawdown time of 3 minutes and 30 seconds. This cup is really nice. It's super clean tasting. There's no bitterness, there's no astringency. It's just a very clean, complex cup. It's not vibrant, it's not like jumping at my face, but you clearly taste a lot of the purple florals like lavender and like a little bit of jasmine. But then you start going into some of these like fruitier berry, kind of like a longan berry or lychee, just a little bit. It's not too sweet or syrupy, but it goes into that profile, and then ends in a kind of a hazelnut situation, which I believe is kind of like the Panama profile. But Cabra's roast is definitely like, this is a great roast, and I would, I'm not too scared about wasting the beans per se, even though it is a Panama geisha, but I just want to see how far I could push the flavor profiles, because if it's something that's complex, then it should have a lot of different flavor notes inside of it, as well as being able to achieve those flavor notes is something that I want to test my own skill with. But other than that, the UFO dripper did a fantastic job. I'm not fully well versed in it, but I do plan on using it a lot more often, just to kind of like get a better understanding of it, and to know how the properties of the UFO dripper affect the final cup compared to the V60 Neo or compared to the B75. But my quick thought of it is that the V60 Neo has a very vibrant profile. The UFO dripper has like a softer, rounder profile, but not as muted and dull like the B75. Anyways, if you've liked this video, please leave a comment, share your thoughts. Other than that, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.